I needed a lawyer who wakes up craving footnotes. Our primary estate attorney was on leave, which is law firm for hiking in denial. The associate who answered sounded like caffeine in a blazer. She said her name like a court stamp. Clean, decisive, inevitable. I opened with, "Hi, my mirror thinks it's a paralegal." She said, "Walk me through provenance." Not how. Not what. Provenance. A woman after my hashes. I laid it out. The 10-minute goodbye. The month of monitoring. The smoothie intern named Lewis. The Argyle Mailbox LLC. The Mirror's Wellness Review. The thermostat shame dips. The door locks raccoon hour. The title draft. The cognitive concern Mad Libs. I read file names like I was auctioning regret. She stopped me only to ask, "Timestamps?" I said, "Crossed with device IDs and IPs." She said, "Delightful." She broke it down like a cooking show where the souffle is somebody's freedom. First, capacity. They can't run probate while you're breathing and paying Wi-Fi. They need a physician letter, not vibes. She told me to stop calling it a cognitive concern. Cute sheet. I agreed. She said, "We'll kill it with sunlight." Then, undue influence. You were medicated, recovering, and they arranged a signature demo with notary staging. That's a law school exam, and they failed the class. She wanted the notary's commission number. I read it off the video footer. She purred like a printer finishing a perfect page. Power of attorney. "Any you signed?" "No." "Good." They were trying to backfill authority with performative concern. Classic. We'll stick a fork in it. Guardianship traps? Harder. They'd need evidence you can't manage affairs. Spoiler, you just chain of custody to mirror. She dictated while I typed. Preservation letters. Mirror vendor. Home hub. Title. Bank. Notary. Argyle's registered agent. Cousin broker. Even Lewis if we could locate his shadow LinkedIn. Language was all velvet threat. Retain all ESI, including device images, cloud backups, logs, drafts, deleted fragments, and metadata. I asked if we could add and vibes. She said, "Save the jokes for court steps." Then she built a paper cage. Freeze lines of credit. Dual authorization on HELOC. Notify trustee to hold distributions absent your live signature. Title company receives a bright red contact owner and counsel flag. She asked what my trust instrument said about incapacity. I said, "2 doctors, unanimous, not a mirror." She smiled with her molars. We scripted 3 emails. 1 to bank compliance. Pattern of dissipation suspected. Payee Argyle Ridge Partners flagged. Request enhanced verification. 1 to title. No conveyance without notarized confirmation from me and counsel. 1 to the trustee. Hold. Do not pass go. Each went out wrapped in exhibits. Hashes stapled like pearls. She gave me a crash course in probate vocabulary that should be a dating app red flag. Letters testamentary. Independent administration. Small estate affidavit. That's for when there's nothing to fight over except Thanksgiving. She explained how a quiet transition is a marketing phrase for, "Please don't call a judge." I asked what judges like. She said, "Boring chronology that makes bad actors look loud." We calendared. Serve preservation today. Compliance calls by close. Monday, notice to cousin broker supervising broker. Tuesday, complaint draft in drawer if anyone twitches. I asked if we could add a haunted house. She said, "Whatever helps you sleep. Just don't alter their access. We preserve. We don't sabotage." I promised to haunt ethically. We prepped for the notary. She wanted the stamp log, entry book, and appointment record for Sunday. If the notary shows, we let the slideshow sing. If the notary balks, we get statements while their memory smells like your kitchen. We added a subpoena template to the folder labeled courtesy. She asked about my dad's trust. Discretionary distributions pending, trustee conservative, language says protect against duress. She nodded. We'll give them duress in Helvetica. She dictated a trustee letter that sounded like a helpful weather alert. Conditions favorable for litigation if you ignore this. I said, "I feel insane." She said, "You feel right." Then, one more thing. Stop talking to them directly. All roads go through counsel or through receipts. I agreed. She added, "And eat." I said, "I'm surviving on spite and pudding." She said, "Add protein." Before we hung up, she summarized in bullets you could frame. You are alive. Probate is cosplay. Capacity requires doctors. They have templates. Undue influence is a buffet. We will plate it. Paper moves slower than panic. Use that. Boredom wins. I closed my laptop. The house hummed, relieved it, had a chaperone. The thermostat held steady at a respectable adult 68. I told the mirror, "We're getting you a lawyer." The mirror showed clouds and, I swear, looked smug. That afternoon, bank compliance called me "Sir" 5 times. Title replied "Flagged" with 3 exclamation points, which is corporate screaming. The trustee sent "Received holding." My inbox read like a small orchestra tuning. Receipts, then symphony. I texted the associate, "What next?" She wrote back, "We set the stage." I typed, "Sunday?" She sent a thumbs up and a skull. My kind of emoji law. At 3:07 a.m., the lights dimmed on schedule. The speakers whispered, "Don't forget the signature demo." And somewhere, guilt adjusted its tie. Mapping the money. Argyle Ridge and Friends. Argyle Ridge Partners sounded like a hedge fund that drinks cardigan tea. The registry said otherwise. Filed last month. Registered agent. A mailbox store between Tanning Dreams and Cutlery Carnival. Nature of business. Consulting. Consulting on what? Ethics evasion? I pulled the filing PDF and met the founder, Brenda's maiden name, because subtlety is for people without Notary Sunday on their calendar. Mailing address. Suite 144B, which is legal for we rent a rectangle. I called the number. It rang to an empty hallway in Nebraska, and then to a voicemail that promised excellence. Argyle, delivering outcomes. Yeah, mine. Back to me, please. Money map time. I built a flow that would make a CPA weep and a prosecutor preheat. Joint account. Out to ConsultCo LLC. ConsultCo into Argyle Ridge Partners. Argyle into an escrow account at Lighthouse Title, where optimism goes to tan. Escrow, poised to pay cousin broker commissions and a down payment on my patience. I tagged each hop with a memo from the speaker transcripts. Consult, ops, refill, all words that mean don't ask. The roundness of the numbers offended me. $4,000, $8,000, $12,000. Who launders with even integers? Children. Cousin Broker's website had a banner. Coming soon. I DM'd him from a burner nicknamed Dad's Intern. Asked for details. He responded like a man running a marathon in a trench coat. Quick, sweaty, evasive. Private listing. Quiet seller. Spicy translation. Let's steal without witnesses. Her tablet backup in the hub cache coughed up a draft labeled Dr. Letter, Cognitive Concern. The header read, Clinic Template Demo. The body was mad, libs dressed as ethics. Insert name, insert date, insert soft adjectives. At the bottom, a fake signature field with a stamp placeholder that said, Upload Seal. The only thing missing was a coupon code for malpractice. I dragged it into my folder called Make a Judge Nod and smiled like a librarian shelving doom. I needed the bank's breadcrumb butter. Payment processor metadata on that Argyle payee. I called in my new hobby, compliance, and said the magic sentence, pattern of dissipation tied to a freshly minted LLC. The rep inhaled, toggled her "Sir" setting, and pulled back the curtain. Outbound transfers were verified via device ending 2B. That device matches an earlier card not present event at Lighthouse Title. 2B was Brenda's tablet, 2, the crime iPad mini. I thanked her, filed the case number under Beautiful Noises, and exported the confirmation to my ever-thickening stack of inevitability. I checked the HELOC. Someone had tested the gate like a raccoon with a credit score. 2 abandoned draws, teller-assisted pre-approvals pending dual authorization. I kissed the associate's earlier wisdom. Dual authorization is my love language, and named the screenshot Balance of Terror PNG. The rental property had sprouted a phantom listing on a cousin-run site. Charming bones. Yeah, that's my femur. Thanks. Photos were clearly mine, the dented dishwasher and the guilty foyer rug. I reverse image searched a shot and found it copied to a private Facebook group labeled Pocket Listings. Keep it quiet. I saved the thread, highlighted quiet, and laughed alone like a man on the news later described as polite. Next, I pulled the processor descriptor for Argyle's Bank, a white-labeled payments platform beloved by MLMs and summer school felonies. Their API logs preserve origin IP, UA strings, and a quiet scream. My lawyer sent a preservation letter while I whispered, "Fetch. Timeline overlay. Mirrors wellness review at 2:17. Door lock paperwork at 1:03. Thermostat shame blizzard at 3:07. Bank test transfer at 3:11. Title draft uploaded 3:26 from Brenda's tablet 2. I put all 4 graphs on one slide called Symphony of Dumb. I called the registered agent's mailbox. "Hi, is the suite accepting service for Argyle Ridge?" The clerk replied, "We are, if you bring cookies." I said, "I'll bring subpoenas." He laughed, then realized I wasn't. I checked cousin broker's license. Active, but his supervising broker's Yelp was a poem of chaos. Perfect. My associate sent a courtesy note. Any transfer activity touching client assets will be met with a filing that wears boots. Then the hub spit up a gem, a rough invoice draft titled Consulting Transition Roadmap. Scope, owner capacity support, probate preparation. Fee schedule, retainer $25,000. Payee, Argyle Ridge Partners. It was formatted in Word's default and smelled like guilt. I watermarked it with SHA 256 and the phrase, "Good night." The sound system chimed a scheduled reminder I'd set. "Don't forget the signature demo." I added a new one. Argyle Ridge Partners is a sweater with a ski mask. Scheduled daily, 3:06 a.m., right before the shame blizzard. My last stop was a bank alert that tried to be cute. Payee profile updated. I drilled in. Beneficiary name change attempt at Argyle. From Argyle Ridge Partners to AR Partners Advisory. Smoother. More cardigan. Rejected due to hold. I sent the associate a screenshot. She replied, "They're rebranding mid-theft. Adorable." I laid the pages out on the island like tarot. Joint. Consult Co. Argyle. Escrow. Title. Cousin. Back to me. If I pulled the right levers with a deadpan and a clerk who loves the word flagged. I said to the mirror, "How's our runway?" She reflected a man who hadn't slept and still looked solvent. The speaker whispered, "Paperwork loves sunlight." The thermostat stayed at 68, like a grown-up. The money map was a circle. I was here to break it. The house learns petty. I decided petty wasn't a sin. It was a training protocol. If the mirror could narrate felonies, the home hub could rehearse consequences. First move, language. I taught the speakers new wake phrases like a toddler with a subpoena. If the house heard strategy, it whispered, "Don't forget the signature demo." If someone said capacity, it replied, "Doctors, not templates." If Argyle hit the air, the hallway camera blinked its LED once, like a conscience winking. Next, atmosphere. Thermostat choreography already dipped at 3:07 a.m. I sharpened it. Night plan, 61 degrees during any wellness review, followed by a warm rush to 72 when lies ended. I labeled the routine contrition. The vents exhaled like a choir clearing throats. Lighting went theatrical. Scene cues. When they said probate, the kitchen pendants dimmed to candlelight for 3 seconds, then back up, like a stage manager reminding them God has eyes. If demos surfaced, the hallway sconces pulsed once, funeral soft. The house became a petty symphony. I scheduled a bathroom whisper. At exactly 3:07 a.m., the mirror breathed. Remember, hand over hand is forgery with hugs. Not loud, not dramatic. The kind of voice that makes your spine check its calendar. Meanwhile, I set the TV screensaver to a private album called Cloudy Sky. Between clouds, one slide flashed, Argyle Ridge Partners equals mailbox 144B. Duration, half a second. Subliminal for people who think they're stealthy. Then I baited them with chores. I created a routine named Inventory that activated when Lewis's guest code opened the door. The coffee machine hissed alive. The speaker cooed. Inventory is for objects, not husbands. And the fridge dinged like it wanted a lawyer. Lewis would stand there, holding his smoothies, wondering why stainless steel was judging him. Night 1 of petty practice landed like a sitcom cold open. They came in whispering with that clipped, confident cadence that belongs on HR videos. "Strategy tonight?" she said. Blink. "Don't forget the signature demo," the speaker breathed. Lewis cleared his throat like he could banish electricity. "Capacity letter is aligned," he said, and the house purred. "Doctors, not templates." He glared at an inanimate rectangle wearing a succulent. The succulent looked disappointed. "Is the thermostat broken?" he grumbled. The Vince gave him a snowflake. She tried to reset the mirror to meditation mode. The interface surfaced a gentle affirmation. Meditation is not a defense. She pressed back, face tight, smile stale. "Let's move to the dining room," she said. The hallway sconces pulsed funeral soft and then pretended to be walls again. They staged papers, rehearsed lines, practiced the con with that warm tone thieves think counts as care. The speaker, in its best bedtime voice, offered, "Kindness without consent is manipulation." Silence sat down at the table. They didn't like that guest either. At 3:07 a.m., the lights dimmed on cue. The mirror exhaled. Hand over hand is forgery with hugs. Lewis flinched so hard his pen did a jump scare. She said, "Stop. He set this up." Flattering. I was asleep upstairs, smug. Morning arrived with normal cereal and deeply abnormal receipts. I pulled audio with timestamps and device IDs because petty is practice, evidence is sport. Every whisper about demo earned a light pulse. Every Argyle got a blink. The home hub annotated sin like it was auditing summer camp. Day 2, I added music. When the door logged guest code Lewis, the speaker cued a playlist named Ethics. The first track was a 3-second tone that sounded exactly like a notary stamp. "Pavlov, meet paperwork." He winced, then smiled too loudly, like someone built from decibels. "Cute," he said to the ceiling. The ceiling said nothing. Passive-aggressive beams. They tried to outpace the house with speed. They leaned on euphemism. Transition, support, clarity. The speaker was immune to HR. "Clarity is great. Say the nouns," it sighed. The nouns fell like bricks. I started naming devices so they'd read out loud on the app when they connected. Instead of living speaker, it was cognitive concern fillable. Instead of kitchen display, it was mailbox 144B. Watching Lewis select mailbox 144B to stream gentle jazz was an out-of-body experience. I giggled into my sleeve like a villain with manners. She asked him to unplug things. He did. The battery backup sang. "Power loss detected," the mirror logged. "Possible attempt to alter record." The hub dutifully wrote a diary entry with their exact unplug times and the exact moment the coffee maker tried to unionize. Petty wasn't just cute. It was chain of custody karaoke. On night 3, they argued on camera, which I didn't ask for, but will cherish forever. "We wait until probate," he hissed. Pulse. She snapped. "He won't understand." Whisper. "Say that slower for the transcript." She said, "Keep him medicated." The house, bless it, hummed the fridge's low growl, which is my new emotional support animal. I clipped that audio, overlaid the thermostat dip, and filed it under nails. Receipts now had edges sharp enough to open mail. Petty trained them. They started looking over their shoulders at nouns. They started whispering around verbs. They started avoiding the words that triggered the house. Great, I scheduled new ones. Fresh vocabulary landmines, notary, cousin, escrow. The sconces learned new choreography overnight. By Saturday, the routine had taught them the house was listening, but not to what they wanted. They could not stop narrating their own indictment. Pavlov's stamp, probate's dim, Argyle's blink. Each time, another pixel of denial died. Sunday loomed with streamers and subpoenas. I stood in the kitchen at dawn, poured coffee, and told the speaker, "We're done practicing. Today, we perform." It replied, "Curtain." The legal net tightens. By Sunday morning, my inbox sounded like a courtroom clearing its throat. The associate, my caffeinated spirit animal, fired off emails with teeth. Undue influence, asset dissipation, capacity fraud. She made word salad that bites. "We're filing a preemptive notice with the bank," she said, voice flat like a printer that only prints consequences. Also, a hold request to the title company, a trustee freeze, and preservation notices to every device that has ever side-eyed a PDF. Bank compliance started calling me sir, like it came with a tux. The rep lowered her voice. "We've escalated your Argyle payee to enhanced due diligence." Translation. The cardigan has handcuffs. She added a call before disbursement flag so big it probably has its own parking. The title company rang next. "We've placed your file on legal hold." Their email followed with a banner so red it could guide planes. "No conveyance without your live confirmation and counsel's approval." I forwarded it to the associate. She replied, "Beautiful," which in lawyer is, "We're sharpening knives." I pinged the trustee. He wrote back with my 3 favorite words: received, holding, confirmed. That email read like a lullaby sung by spreadsheets. My dad's trust exhaled and put on pajamas. Meanwhile, my CPA, who smiles like a wolf reading W-2s, joined the thread. "If funds have moved, we claw," he typed. "If gifts occurred, we tax." He attached a restitution schedule draft that looked like a stairway out of shame. Quarterly repayments. Escrow controlled. No consult memos. This is not Burning Man. No one barters vibes. I rerouted payroll to the world's most boring bank. New account. New key. Hardware token that beeps like a judgmental cricket. I printed the recovery codes and walked them to the associate's office like they were heirlooms. She locked them in a drawer labeled Happiness. Then we tuned the security symphony. Dual authorization on the HELOC. No oral approvals. "No exceptions," the bank rep said, leaning on the phrase like a bench press. "Not even if someone sings." I promised not to serenade fraud. I flipped every shared recovery factor to the curb. No more, "We forgot the password. Let's send it to his phone at 1 a.m. If an app even hinted at trusted device, I stared it down until it apologized. The associate began drafting letters to people who thought they were extras and discovered they were leads. Notary, preserve your journal, your stamp log, your appointment book, and your sense of shame. Cousin broker, your supervising broker has been notified. Please locate your ethics. Mailbox 144. Confirm you'll accept service. Also, fun signage. I sent the cousin a DM with a question so polite it squeaked. "Could you clarify your listing authorization?" He replied, "We're just helping family." I ceded counsel and the title hold. He ghosted so hard I heard chains. We layered restraint orders like lasagna. The associate filed a courtesy notice of potential dissipation with a judge's clerk who loves calendars. Not a case yet. A weather report. Conditions favorable for injunctions should precipitation of nonsense occur. We stapled exhibits like swallowable bricks. Then we trained the house for the matinee. Not sabotage, preservation. Cameras timed sync to NTP like they were late for church. Home hub logs backed up to right once media. The mirror set to clone its soul to a cold drive named Quiet Competence. I signed an affidavit about provenance so boring it could sedate a moose. At 11:04 a.m., bank compliance called again. "Heads up, attempted beneficiary name change at your flagged payee. Rejected. Case number attached." I wrote the number on a sticky note and patted it like a small dog. The associate slid me a script for the party. "You are not monologuing," she said. "You will press play. You will offer 2 options, restitution or ruin. You will not use metaphors." I promised to keep my poetry in a drawer. We executed one more weave of net. Email to the title Underwriters Regional Counsel, CC'd with receipts, so no one could forget a hold under weekend lighting. A preservation to the mirror vendor's privacy officer with magic words. Litigation reasonably anticipated. They replied with compliance purrs and an attachment. Export instructions that end in bay dump doom. I took a lap around my kitchen island because cardio is important when your house is about to snitch in surround sound. The fridge hummed like approval. The vents breathed 68 degrees of adulthood. The lights tried on their funeral pulse and looked incredible. Phone buzz, the associate again. If they argue, you don't. If they cry, you don't. If they lunge, you press pause and call me. I said, "What if I giggle?" She said, "Mute." I slid the USB named Receipts in caps into my pocket and touched the paper stack one last time. Bank holds, title flags, trustee freeze, CPA steps, preservation letters, scripts for my mouth that say only nouns. The legal net wasn't dramatic. It was paperwork that clicked shut. And when paperwork clicks, people stop improvising and start confessing. The pre-party sting. I sent the calendar invite with the manners of a gentleman thief. "Welcome home and thank you." Subject line soft. CC list sharp. Family, trustee, notary, cousin broker, and one line that made me grin. Lewis +1 smoothie. Location, my living room. Dress code, receipts. The body of the invite was a lullaby. Recovery update and gratitude. Meanwhile, the attachments were a trap with footnotes. A slideshow placeholder named Clouds. PPTX that was actually a chaptered confession with timestamps and device IDs. First slide looked like a sunrise. Third slide was the notary stamp practicing cardio. I DM'd cousin broker a polite question about timeline clarity. Watching the typing bubble sprint like a man in flip-flops was spiritual. He typed, stopped, typed again, then landed on, "We can discuss Sunday." Sure, bring your supervising broker and maybe a towel. I sent one more errand to my favorite messy group chat. The title, Underwriters Regional Council. We'll be sharing materials Sunday. Please confirm hold posture. The reply arrived in 8 minutes with the emotional energy of a stapler. Confirmed, hold remains, awaiting exhibits. I pictured a red banner getting a fresh coat of lipstick. The house rehearsed. I set the TV to wake on my phrase, recovery update, and opened the album named Receipts. I added chapter markers. 1. Vitals and timeline. 2. The wellness review. 3. The Argyle money path. 4. The cognitive concern template. 5. The signature demo. 6. Choices. The remote was purely decorative. Slides were on rails. I tested the opener with my dog as the audience. Recovery update, I said. The TV bloomed. The dog sneezed like a notary. We were show ready. I stood in the kitchen and practiced my only lines. Hello? Press play. Nouns. No metaphors. No flair. Just nouns in the right order until people volunteered adjectives. The last wellness review pinged at 1:40 a.m. because they cannot help themselves. The mirror caught the rehearsal jitters. "He won't fight," Lewis whispered. "He'll be grateful." The speaker answered for me. Gratitude isn't consent. The thermostat nipped him on the ankle.